The Addiction Podcast, Point of No Return.
Hi, my name is Amy Newman, and my husband Bobby and I have a business called Newman Intervention Services. We provide intervention services for families who have loved ones struggling with drug addiction. Our goal is to help individuals get the support and treatment they need to overcome addiction and start on the path to recovery. With our personalized and compassionate approach, we guide families through the challenging process of getting their loved one into rehab and onto a road of a healthier future. Together, we can make a positive difference in the lives of those affected by drugs. If you or someone you know is in need of an intervention, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Let's work together and bring hope and healing to those battling addiction.
Call 866-989-4499 today and say the word podcast to get a 10% discount. Or go to newmaninterventions.com and type in the word podcast for a 10% discount. This service comes with a free 1-hour consultation with Bobby. Hey, thanks for joining us on the Addiction Podcast. So today we have an interview with a gentleman named Hakeem McFarlane. He's a very fit guy. He did sports, and he went through his own period of addiction, but he has an approach that you are going to find valuable. Trust me on that, and stay tuned. Hakeem McFarlane, thank you for being with us today.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's amazing being here.
Absolutely. In 2 words or 3 words, maybe 4, what are you going to tell us about today? We'll take it further, but just start us off with a bang.
Authenticity, gift, purpose, passion.
I like that. All of those. Awesome. So tell us about your history, Hakeem. You have your own history with substance abuse. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think we all do, because substances can be a mindset as well. Addiction can be a state of mind as well. But
Hello. I'm Joni Siegel, the host of the Addiction Podcast. In 2022, over 100,000 people died from drug and alcohol abuse, and that number is growing daily. Fentanyl poisoning, pot, cocaine, heroin, and even psychedelics and alcohol all contribute to this crisis, while we're bombarded with promotions from thousands of rehabs. Newborns are born addicted, and the majority of homeless people struggle with drug addiction. Drug dealers exploit online resources to sell to teens, and antidepressant use is spiraling out of control. This podcast features brutally honest guest interviews revealing harsh realities and offering hope and solutions through their stories. We don't sugarcoat anything. Guests speak raw and real. More importantly, you'll find inspiration to understand, overcome, and achieve recovery, whether for yourself or to help others, some within your own family, many among your friends or associates. Whether you're seeking help or just a glimmer of hope, our podcast equips you with the latest insights to confront this generational battle. Many listeners tell us they want to join the fight, but do not have the time or money to act, lobby, or just help. If that's you, go to www.patreon.com/theaddictionpodcast and see how you can help.
both my parents and both siblings were addicts. They're all 4 sober now. My dad's been sober 14 years. He runs a sober community. I actually do a meeting with them virtually every Monday, helping them establish the hope within their foundation and small actions that they can choose to do in order to generate that recovery process, which the recovery process is different for everyone, but the journey is subjective. The destiny is objective. The destiny is happiness and peace, right?
Understood. So tell us about your background. How did you get introduced to drugs or alcohol? What was that like?
Yeah, well, growing up, my parents were addicts, and so I had a broken household, so I was fearful of it. Like, I don't want to be a part of that. Was D1 full ride. My body's a temple. I told all my kids, all my friends who were partying, my body's a temple. I don't want to drink, but I think what that did was call it to me, because I said, I don't want to drink. I don't want to party. I should have said, I want to stay focused. I want to stay pure and change the focus. And that's a lot of the time we want to say, what we're not is actually bringing it to our existence. So the choice of words is powerful as well.
No, it's interesting that you
What
put it that way because what
thing.
you resist oftentimes is what comes to you. Just another way of saying what you just said. And so you tell everybody, no, I'm not going to do that. Then you also become a target. Well, let's get Hakeem to do it. If we can get Hakeem to do it, anybody will do it.
That's the way. And
Yeah.
because I didn't have my previous claims, the people that I made those claims through growing up childhood and high school, when I departed out to college on my D1 full ride, the peer pressure was different because they hadn't heard me make all those claims previously. So now I'm a newbie in a new community trying to fit in to a sports team, and I started drinking. And what I didn't realize when I was 16, my little brother died when he was 6. We pulled the plug on him. He died from cancer and short gut syndrome. I pulled the plug and I went and played basketball the same exact day. And so sports became my mask. As long as I
Oh,
had sports, I
I'm
didn't have to
sorry.
face the surgeons who let him die. I didn't have to face the God who let this little kid die. I didn't have to face the father issues, the daddy issues. I didn't have to face it as long as I had the sports. Some people mask it in work. Some people mask it in relationships. Some people mask it in giving back. But if you don't heal it, it's going to hit you harder when it catches up. For me, every sip in college was a crack on that safe, was a
Yep.
crack on that mask, was a knock at the door. And so eventually the lid came off and I started running. I ran for my D1 full ride. I went D2, got my very first game. I tore my ACL because I wasn't taking my career seriously
Oh,
because I was hiding from the trauma. So I was masking it with the sports and the drinking and the ego. Then I got injured, dropped out for a year, punched a guy, got 20 years probation, 86 months over my head. Now I'm a
wow.
felon at 19 years old. So I dropped
Wow.
out of college for a year, went to the streets, started partying, blacking out, did security, fighting in the black market, doing all the things for a year, had 5 knee surgeries, and I'm 19 at this point. I blew a full ride. I started partying. I got in felony assault. I've blown a D2 opportunity, and now I'm back at my mom's house in the dark place. This is my first dark place where although I was in the darkness under substance abuse. I couldn't admit it because I still had the mask and the hope to play ball. I still had this busy schedule. I still had friends, so I didn't have to face it because I'm doing fine. Look at me. I'm doing fine. I'm still going back to play sports. But the
Yep.
mask was stopping me from dealing with the pain.
Understood.
And
What sport did you
eventually,
play,
I got
Hakeem?
into a huge football, American
What-
football. Yep,
Okay.
my favorite sport.
Figured. Yeah.
Yeah, so
You
I
look
was
you look like a larger
yeah,
guy, so I
tackle.
figured.
Yeah, I was about 6'1", 205, playing wide receiver at the time, but I was fast, so and I had the hands. That was the most important part, but, eventually you get to a trigger point of when you're done dealing with your own BS, and sometimes it's your
Yep.
health scare, whether your doctor tells you something, sometimes inspiration, a book, a retreat, sometimes it's loss. You lose your child, your kids, you lose your freedom, you lose your job, you lose a house, you lose something. Or you get new life, which could be a new business or a new baby or a new city. One of those things are going to trigger you if you don't choose yourself. Life is eventually going to push you to your capacity. And for me, that was me getting whooped in the streets. And so I went back to school. But now I had perfected the ability of numbing with sports and masking with substances. So now
Mm.
in the season, I would mask I would mask with sports. In the off season, I would numb with substances. So I did that for 4 years straight, back and forth. Locked in during the season, party in the off season. Locked in during the season, party in the off season. Still didn't deal with my pain. It had been 6 years. Still
Mm.
ain't faced it. Masking and numbing. Once I finished college, graduated All-American, got my bachelor's degree, and tried to play pro, didn't make the team because I wasn't taking my life serious. I wasn't taking my career serious. Once that dream was gone, no more football. I broke my ankle as well.
Mm.
Once that was gone, now what was left? The mask is gone now. You're not going to the NFL no more. What you hid that pain under when you pulled the plug and went and played basketball, all that is gone. Now you got to sit with it unless you start numbing. And I went to my second dark place. And this one was the darkest one of all. I started
Wow.
dabbling, staying up for days, never went home, never hold a relationship, never hold a job because I lost my identity in sports and the mask was off. So I had to face my pain and I didn't want to. So I kept numbing it.
Wow.
I kept numbing it for years
How
until
long?
I got locked up. Uh-huh.
How long?
Oh, so the numbing started in 2008. My brother died in 2006. The numbing started in 2008. My dark spot was 2009. I did the balance from 2010 to 2014. My second dark space was 2 years straight from 2015 to 2017. Then I got locked up for 8 months.
You are listening to the Addiction Podcast, Point of No Return. For more information on the podcast or to reach out if you have a story you would like to share with us, go to our Facebook page by the same name, or you can email us at theaddictionpodcast@yahoo.com or go to our website, theaddictionpodcast.com. And please remember to subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts and give us a 5-star review. We appreciate you listening to the Addiction Podcast, Point of No Return. We don't do this podcast because we are former addicts. We don't do this podcast because we have loved ones who have suffered from addiction. We do this podcast because we feel that addiction is one of the biggest problems facing the world today, and that no matter who you are, no matter your religion, no matter your income status, no matter your race, no matter anything about you, addiction affects you. Many listeners tell us they want to join the fight, but do not have the time or money to act, lobby, or just help. If that's you, go to www.patreon.com/theaddictionpodcast and see how you can help.
Still didn't learn a lesson. Got out 30 days later, got a deed-up. Got locked up again for another 8 months. It's at this time I had to go to treatment and I had a seizure. Those three things, getting locked up, seizure, and treatment, that's when was my turning point when I got done dealing with my own BS. Stayed sober for 18 months, graduated, got on good behavior, partnered with my uncle who ironically sold a liquor company, but now I looked at it as an opportunity. So
Yep.
it wasn't calling me because I knew this was my chance to pull myself out. So
Right.
through the trigger point, dark space, balance, mask, numb, dark space, identity loss, and then birth of a new trajectory, 2018 was when the Choose Yourself process was born. And now that's what I help people go through and embrace.
Wow. So you had your turning point after your seizure, and then did you do treatment? Did you go into treatment or just get clean and sober on your own?
Yeah, 8 months of treatment as
Okay.
well. That helped
Okay.
after about 40 days of being in denial. Then I finally bought into the program.
Okay. That sounds fair.
Yeah.
So you're now spreading not the word, and I don't mean the Bible, but I mean you're now spreading the word in terms of recovery and finding yourself and the words that you gave me when you started this interview. Tell us about that. How did that come about? How did you get into that?
Well, a lot of it was research with a sign behind me. It says, grow your mind. The more you understand what's possible, the more possibilities you see in your future, the more you can prepare. And the more prepared you are, the more confident you are. So if you understand people from your situation have overcome what you're trying to overcome, if you understand there's things in your life right now that you can use as a resource to be able to go on that journey, then you generate more hope inside. But if you sit there blaming, complaining, playing the victim, blaming the judge, blaming your injuries, blaming the death of people, there's no hope. So it's a shift in the mindset. And when I was in that cell 8 days with no pen, no pad, no shower, no phone call, no change of clothes, no nothing, going through withdrawals, dying, I finally snapped out of it and I took accountability for every single thing I did. And so going back into why I was hurt, going back into who I was blaming, why I was blaming, finding out the power in being able to experience my brother, being able to see what a broken home looks like, being able to persevere through poverty, being able to maintain my health around temptation, finding those positives then allowed me to embrace those traits in the future. I didn't run and blame. My dad wasn't there. My brother died. My injuries, my felony, my judge, blah, blah. Well, now that's the filter you see your life through.
Yep.
And once you make that shift, you take accountability and you embrace what happened to you that your creator put you through on purpose because you weren't listening otherwise. Once you do that, you start to feel a sense of relief. You feel a sense of a burden lifted. And so finding the power in your story, taking time out of your day to tap into your passion every day, and then providing your gift to others will allow you to fulfill your purpose. And that's the trifecta. Embrace your story, tap into your passion, then provide your gift to others. That's your purpose.
And what was your passion, Hakeem? Because it wasn't football anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for me, it was speaking.
Okay.
Speaking. So I spoke in front of, I was the leader of every team I played on: basketball, football, soccer, hockey, my whole life since I was little. I was the leader. I was the leader of every chant. I was the amp guy at halftime. I got my bachelor's in communication. I gave several speeches. I've been on stage over 60 times, even when I wasn't getting paid. I was trying to do a comedy. I love speaking. That's
Mhm.
what I do. But
Okay.
until I embrace my gift, my gift, passion, speaking.
Yep.
But if I just speak about mess, then it's not part of your purpose. You speak about your story. You speak about the power that you went through. Now you start to contribute your gift. If you're just speaking to speak, everybody can do that. There's the internet now. There's a bunch
Yep.
of people saying all kinds of things. But if you haven't, that's why I don't listen to an overweight trainer or overweight doctor or a preacher. Because it doesn't, to me, it doesn't seem like you believe in what you're talking about.
Yep. I can see that. So you speak about what you're passionate about and you tell your story. And, that's what we do on this podcast is tell stories because we know that, first of all, the people who are listening, either they're families who have loved ones in addiction or they are addicts themselves or they're in recovery. And the last thing they want to hear from, the last person they want to hear from is actually somebody like me who hasn't experienced it. That's why we have people like you on to tell your story because you've been through it. And we know the value of that when you share that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's important. I mean, now I've developed a community that we meet every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time to embrace our story and implement the systems in our foundation and routine to be able to obtain and acquire and maintain the lifestyle that you dream of. It starts with the choices you do now. And in that community, we talk about addiction, injury, mind, body, spirit. We talk about adversity, loss, grief, everything I've been through. Now we're breaking off into a second department branch called CYC Kids. I don't have any kids. I'm barely around kids. I can't lead this department, but we
Right.
have a health, energy, nutrition teacher parent named Ashley, who's a rock star herself, who is now running that branch because you'll get more impact from her with the choose yourself philosophy as a framework than you will from me. And that's exactly what you were saying. I believe in that.
Yep. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. So is this like a Zoom meeting? Is it an online meeting that you have once a week? Or
Yes, online
oh,
every week, each
okay.
day, Tuesday.
Okay. Okay. And how do people find you if they want to be a part of this conversation? How do they find you?
Well, my content, Big Dream Hakeem, on all socials is free. My podcast, Choose Your Soul Show, is free with my co-host Alyssa. We're also hosting a retreat in October. The next level up would be to to join the CYC, Choose Yourself community. You can meet every week on Zoom. All these links are through my website,
Okay. And what's your website?
chooseyourself.info. Chooseyourself.info.
Choose yourself.info. Perfect. And you're doing a retreat in October. That sounds interesting. Is that the first one you've done?
Yeah, that's the first one that I've done myself and hosted, and so that's going to be huge for the next step when we want to do retreats more frequently as well. Me and my
I,
co-host,
I like that. I think there's a lot of value in that. And where are you going to do it?
Costa Rica, Hacienda del Raúl.
Okay.
So yeah, it's going to be fun from October 16th to the 20th. 3 workshops: emotional release, and visionary workshop, and a foundational workshop to really help you embody your dream life and bring that experience and mindset back to your current life, and then
N-
attach the 2 points.
nice. Hakeem, give me the name of the podcast again.
Choose Your Soul Show.
Or so nice. And who did you say was your co-host?
AF, the initials, A.F. That's what I call her. Her name is Alyssa, the Source Junkie on Instagram. She has like 800K followers about spirituality, mindset, um, wealth consciousness. She's super dope. I learned a lot from her as well.
Awesome. Awesome. So give us some just, I don't know, words of wisdom for people who are going through what you went through.
Yeah. Well, it starts with accountability and acceptance. It is what it is. Nobody's coming for you. Nobody can save you until you save yourself. Would your savior approve of your behavior?
Mm.
You're begging for strength, but you skip the gym. You're begging for patience, but you can't stay off your screens. You're saying prayers over toxic food. He can see you. If you really are about that life, you have to exemplify that you care about your creator's creation, which is you. And it's not just what you eat, what you drink, what you smoke. It's what you're watching, what you're listening to, what you're saying to yourself, who you follow when you scroll. It's how your house smells. It's how your car smells. It's how clean your house is. Clean space, clean mind. Okay. Our body is a physical manifestation of the mind. And our environment is a reflection of our projection. And you can't change the projector screen because you can't change other people. You got to change the projector, which is you. And once you start to believe and understand that your paradigm comes down to the rate you grow your mind, then we understand we control our reality. And one thing that changed my life from partying until 6 a.m. and sleeping from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. and staying up for days and bartending and going in nightlife and doing all that was I started taking my sleep serious. And what I mean by that, there's a cycle. What you consume throughout the day, it drains your energy. And then if you don't have the energy at the end of the day, you don't have the willpower to stay disciplined and you start binge eating, binge scrolling, and binge consuming because you dispense too much energy throughout the day without intention. Now, you do that at night, it disturbs your sleep. Your sleep is disturbed. It disrupts your ability to wake up on time and do your morning routine. Your morning routine is disturbed, then your focus is disturbed, and then you consume mindlessly all day and you're in this cycle. First thing you got to do, this is what I teach everybody, it's what we all do in the Choose Yourself community. You get a curfew and out time. Either if you got roommates, go to your room, close the door. If you are out, be home by a certain time. Start with that. If you can't even do that, you don't really want the healing.
Right.
Because the next phase is the digital sunset. 30 days after that, turn all your screens off. Can you detach from the outside world? Because solitude and silence is where you find peace. Or are you consuming all the way to your pillow to sleep? If you can't detach from the world, then your problems will always be out there and they'll always be penetrating your sensory input. Get you some time before and after your sleep without people, without screens, without toxins. Don't bring food to bed. Don't bring your vape to bed. Don't be bringing sugar to bed. Take your sleep serious. This is where the body resets. This is where you lock in all your subconscious programming. So what you do in theta brainwave before and after your sleep is what becomes your life. That's why you can't watch BS in the morning because then you have a negative mindset all day. So the 6 pillars of the foundation. First, digital. It's a curfew. The next one, digital sunset. The next one, read in bedtime, a real book, not your screen. The next one, your alarm, your wake up time. The next one, morning routine. The last one, digital sunrise or first obligation. So between your curfew and your first obligation, that is where we implement the systems for the mind, body, spirit, the dorsal, ventral, and anterior cingulate cortex is part of the prefrontal, which allows you to choose the power of choice. It is an innate superpower of human beings. We have the power of choice. But if you don't put systems in place to practice your ability to choose, if you don't put yourself under struggle, if you don't grow your mind to develop faith in something greater than you and in yourself, you won't be able to choose with intention. You'll always choose your present emotion or your past habits. You have to have faith in something you ain't seen. You ain't never been this virgin before. It's your first time here, but don't forget you're undefeated. Don't forget that. We always think we got so far to go, so we forget how far we've come. You're undefeated so far. Last time you thought you wouldn't make it, what happened? You made it. So put your mindset in that frame of work. Put your mindset in, I made it last time, I'm gonna make it again. Not, oh, there's so much going on. I don't think I have enough tools or resources. Control what you can control. And for me, it was the foundation. Then I started going out. I was going out 5 days a week. Then I went to 4, then 3, then 2. And a year and a half later, I was waking up at 5 a.m.
Wow. I like those rules. I made notes, but I'm gonna send people to your website because, wait, I have your website, chooseyourself.info, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I gotta send people there so they can get them because 'cause I'm not sure I wrote them all down. But everything you say makes sense, and what I like about it is that it's simple such that anybody can do it. Like, if people cannot do what you are suggesting, then they don't wanna get clean and sober and don't wanna live healthy and fulfilling lives. I mean, that's kind of the bottom line, and that's the first step. They have to want it, but if they want it, what you're offering them is so simple that they can do.
Yeah, and the community too.
Yep,
Making a claim, the integrity loop of making a claim to others, and I'm sure they talk about this in treatments and recovery programs and any sports team or any team event, making a claim to someone else.
yep.
And the once you have the foundation, I have a 12-hour foundation and a 7. I chop time off stretching, meditating, journaling, sleep, commuting, content. I chop time off of each segment, but I still do a little bit of each. So I condense my foundation down. Once you have a flexible foundation, first you get your full foundation, then we'll get your mini foundation for the days that your kids stay up later. So you get bad news, you still do the mini foundation. It's like fanning the flame instead of pouring gasoline. You still got to
Mhm.
keep it flame. You can't just skip yourself no matter what happens. People need you. You
Right,
have to choose yourself to be able to pour from an overflow. You start neglecting yourself, people get the half of you that they deserve, and that's selfish. And that's what I'm trying to say. So you get this mini foundation. Then within this foundation, you start adding components of tapping into my passion, building a business, researching certain topics, but you have this time which you don't venture from, and this is where your place you implement uncomfortable situations like cold shower, like exercise, like fasting, like meditation, like silence, like stillness. These things that you need, they're in here. So we can't waver from this because we need these for the rest of the day.
right,
So in here now you have a place that you can always go back, reflect, and research and reapply. Now, knowing that you have that, it's easier to take a risk throughout the day because you got a place to readjust. If you don't have a place and you're like, I don't want to take a risk because I won't have time to fix it. Yep, you won't. Now it's just going to be you forever. But if you
right.
have that place of time to reconstruct, easier to take the risk because you build your faith in yourself and your creator in this space. So then you have more confidence moving forward and more hope, like we were saying, because you do the things and now you start to believe you because you wake up on time, you eat healthy, you pray, you write down your thoughts, you think positively, you watch good things, you eat good things, your space is clean, you're in a routine for yourself. And now you pour from an overflow to everybody else instead of being like, am I going to have enough energy to play with my kids at the end of the day?
Mhm.
Well, you sacrificed your sleep to stay up late to binge scroll, and then you skipped your morning routine to get to work on time and probably won't have it. You probably won't have time or
Right,
energy.
right. It's all good. Hakeem, thank you for coming on the podcast, and thank you for everything you're doing. I, um I love all of your messages because 'cause they're simple and they're ones that I think anybody can relate to.
Thank you. Thank you. I got something for you real quick though
Yes.
before you go.
Okay.
All right. Now, this is something that I do, especially because we try to place addiction and blame externally. So this is to help us generate accountability and acceptance and awareness. There's a balancing universe, the good and the bad, the light, the dark, emotion, intention, God, the devil, whatever you want to call it. It could be a concept, it could be a mindset. But you have two choices when it comes to your relationship with God and the devil. You could be a deal maker or you could be a deal breaker. There's no halfway. But understand this: if you make a deal with the devil won't show up as the devil because you won't make the deal. It might show up as sugar, liquor, nicotine, porn, weed, pills. It might show up as the urge to cheat on yourself or your spouse or a test or a daily cheat meal. It might show up as the snooze button. Boop. Now watch your dreams get killed. It might show up as self sabotage or self destruction. Because whenever God gives you something good, you corrupt it and abruptly interrupt it, seeking a victim's mentality by disrupting your production. But those weren't the instructions you constructed. Where'd your faith go? Did the devil abduct it? It's the temptations and restrictions, the hesitations and contradictions that keep the friction between our addiction and our mission, causing a contradiction in our conviction due to the deception of our depiction that leads us to our own crucifixion. I can see your faith missing. Now, I don't need a sacred church or a text or a prophet to show me God's vision. And if you do, that's fine. I'm connected to the same God through my intuition that y'all seek to connect to through your religion. But how you gonna be overweight and religious? Don't your book say the body is a temple? Well, are you being malicious or nutritious? Or is the text fictitious? Now, you don't gotta lift weights, but you gotta be cool with the way your body disintegrates, fickle and frail, or the way to the grave. And it's not just what you eat, what you drink, what you smoke. We got to filter all senses because it would be senseless to leave them defenseless when the overall consensus is to convince us that there's consequences to being authentic. Thank y'all.
Oh, thank you, Hakeem.
All right.
The bomb.
I appreciate that, y'all.
Thank you for joining us today. Once again, Hakeem's website is chooseyourself.info. He's got some great tools that can help you or your loved ones. We'll be back with another interview next week.
You have been listening to the Addiction Podcast, Point of No Return. For more information, reach out to us on Facebook or go to www.theaddictionpodcast.com. Our email is theaddictionpodcast@yahoo.com.